Thanks for joining me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Samantha Waters, and I'm the Assistant Director of Communications for the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. I'm here as part of the college communications team to support your communications training needs, whatever they may be. Today, I want to talk a little about newsletter development, specifically using MailChimp. MailChimp is an easy-to-use platform where you can generate electronic newsletters or other email campaigns for distribution. You can set up mailing lists, design your content, and track message open rates and link clicks. This training is a very high-level overview of a tool that could be beneficial if you are interested in starting or revitalizing an electronic newsletter. It will also provide insight into how the college has decided to run and format its newsletter. I will provide a general overview, as well as guide you to resources throughout with a few specific questions that surfaced while testing this training in person. You have hopefully seen the college newsletter I release. Here is the most recent example. It is important to know your audience when you are developing your content. Keep in mind that our current college newsletter is designed for faculty and staff and not currently for external distribution. We currently start each of our newsletters with a message from the dean, allowing for a high-level update with a personal touch. We then move into our featured stories. Here, we try to balance the content as much as possible, incorporating video content when we can, and making sure we have research, academics, and extension stories covered in some capacity. We also try to weave in some interesting human interest and personal pieces that show how the faculty, staff, or students are doing things that are above and beyond the call of duty. We then highlight upcoming events, major news mentions for the college, and ways to get involved. Notice we include buttons to both follow us on social and share this information on social. We are always trying to make that process more seamless. The overall goal here is to make this as visual as possible with minimal text and drive readers back to longer features on our website or elsewhere. We want this to be as engaging as possible, and you will lose the attention of your readers if it is too text-heavy. This is the most important thing we've tried to accomplish to be in line with the e-newsletter best practices. In general, the college will cover stories including but not limited to major grant funding, major student or faculty awards, compelling research that showcases the high-level and unique work that's going on here, interesting international stories, stories that showcase impactful study abroad experiences, unique and compelling personal or academic faculty and student stories, and stories that show our work in the community and have impact on the lives of those locally, nationally, and internationally. We are, of course, also focused on our strategic initiatives as messaging buckets, so we think about how these things align here as well. I encourage you to keep this in mind and send anything interesting my way, but also send any feedback about the newsletter in its current state my way, so that we can keep improving the quality of our coverage. Now, let's take a look at how we use MailChimp to make our newsletter as visually compelling as possible. The first thing you will need to do is create a MailChimp account. You can sign up for free, and if you have less than 2,000 subscribers on your mailing list and send less than 12,000 total emails a month, free is all you will need. You can add more subscribers and unlimited emailing with a paid subscription as well. Once you have an account, you will log in and be brought to your account homepage. You will be given a summary of your audience and engagement based on recent campaigns, which is what MailChimp calls it when you distribute a message or newsletter. Across the top, you will see the major headings: campaigns, templates, lists, and reports. UMD already has templates they recommend in their brand guidelines, so it's easy for us to be creative and cohesive at the same time. I use template 1 from this website. You can import it directly into MailChimp. Once you have it open, you can use it anytime you like for your next newsletter as a base. Personally, I like to keep a copy of the original template to work with as well as a copy of the most recent newsletter in Templates. I tend to prefer to edit content in the Templates area, but you can also create your content when you create a new campaign. Now, I will show you how to manipulate some of the design elements in the template to create your content. As you can see, you can drag any of the elements around in any order that you want relatively easily. Each element is called a block. You can drag a block, edit, duplicate, or delete. Duplicate the header block, for example, to create more identical headers when you get them the way you like. I do the same with my story blocks and other elements to make sure everything is as uniform as possible. When editing a block, you can control the style of the content by controlling fonts and sizes. Clearing all styles when copying and pasting content in can be helpful so that you can reformat how you like. You can also center content or align it any way you'd like here. Style gives you a little more room to work with things like spacing, background and border colors for your block, and overall size. Line height refers to the spacing between lines of text. I recommend slight spacing so that things are easier to read, and at least 14-point font. Settings are specific to the type of block you are working with. In this heading block, for example, you can change the number of columns or how they are split. Always remember to save and close. You can change certain design elements across the entire newsletter using the Design tab here, but where you will most likely spend your attention is on your content. In the Content tab, you can add any type of block you like. To get the look I like for our college newsletter, I use image cards. Simply drag the blocks into your newsletter wherever you'd like. As you can see, you can manipulate all of the particulars of the block here, and these settings will be slightly different for each content type you insert. I tend to use image cards like these, boxed text, which gives a certain nice bold background to your text as opposed to just plain text that you see here, and the heading boxes that are already created and available for you in the template that you pulled in. These are the major elements I use. I have also used image galleries in newsletters to create a collage of images around an event, like this example of State Fair. MailChimp is very user-friendly and will let you know if any image you've uploaded is too large. This will take up a lot of space in an inbox and make the image and the email harder to load. When uploading an image like so, MailChimp will automatically give you a suggestion if the image is too large, like this. To fix it, simply click Fix and adjust to the recommended dimensions. With video content, I always use links like YouTube, as all of our content is available there. This will keep the email in your inbox small and smooth, and again, redirect you to web and social content, which is the ultimate goal. Something we have considered that might be of interest to you is the ability to create a table of contents in your newsletter so that readers can jump to a particular location without scrolling down. If you are interested in this functionality, you can embed this content by following the instructions here. Now that you have your content, you will need a list to distribute it to. It is relatively simple to create a new list, and you can either manually populate the list or import from a file. Importing is seamless as long as the file is saved as a .csv comma-delimited file and not as an Excel file. You can resave the file in the appropriate format before importing your list. As you can see, MailChimp will recognize your column headings and identify content this way. At a minimum, you need an email address to add someone, but you can include first name, last name, address, phone number, etc. All the users will be subscribed. You can manage your lists in a lot of different ways, including creating groups and subgroups within the list to track subscribers. This might be useful if you want to send different communications to alumni, industry groups, or various categories of stakeholders that you might have. Learn more about creating these groups here. Now you can create a campaign. Email is the standard campaign format. Name your campaign whatever you'd like. This is for internal use only. Then, use the To field to add the list of subscribers you've just created. In From, you can choose who you prefer the communication to come from, whether it be you personally or your program or center. I like to establish myself as a contact for this newsletter, so I use my own name and contact information so that people know where to submit feedback and story ideas. Then, I make the subject line something branded with the college. You can include a sentence or two as a snippet if you'd like also, which will be the preview text displayed after the subject line before someone opens the newsletter. Under Design, this is where you will select your saved template that you've prepared for this campaign. Alternatively, you could work with any form of the original template here and do your content generation and editing at this stage. Click Save and Close when it is ready to go. From here, you can send a test email to yourself or someone else to review. I recommend doing this every time to weed out any unforeseen formatting issues and for proofreading purposes. Just enter the emails and click Send Test. In addition to sending the campaign out via email, you can connect it to Facebook or Twitter and share the newsletter automatically this way. Since our audience is currently internal, we're not doing this with our current newsletter. However, it might be useful for you. You can finish later if you need to save and come back to a campaign. You can schedule to send the message out at a later time, or you can send it now. Once you send, you will be given a full web address that you can share however you'd like, going directly to your newsletter. When you link your social accounts or share via social, you can actually determine an image you would like to have shared with the link. To control this and set up your parameters for sharing, you can learn more here. Once you've sent out your campaign, you can track what content is most popular and who is reading in the Reports tab. As you can see, this will track your subscribers, opens, and clicks. You can view a report for any campaign, and on a basic level, it will give you open rates, click rates, track those who are unsubscribing, and also emails that are bouncing and need to be removed from your distribution list. You can see it will also give you total clicks and total opens, since many of your users will open or click multiple times. Top links clicked and subscribers with the most opens are also very helpful to get a sense of who is actively engaged in what content. This will help you shape future content and see what plays well and what doesn't with your audience. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this overview helpful. If you want to learn more about MailChimp, please reach out to me at samurai7@umd.edu. And be sure to check out MailChimp's online resources in the Help section with specific questions. I've pointed out a few of these articles throughout our discussion to address specific needs and frequently asked questions, but there are many more resources available to learn about the in-depth functionality that the MailChimp platform has to offer.